Stop the cap.
Trust black women, they lead the way. Trust black women, they lead the way. White women, stop abandoning your sisters. Trust black women, they lead the way. Oh, we're mad as hell.
All right. One of the things that has been a slight irritation over the last couple of weeks, and I'll say a slight irritation. So, one of the things where initially I had made a rant video, and then, I decided not to post it, and I just, let it swirl around in my head for a couple of days and see if I felt the same way. And I do feel the same way. I'm just not as charged about it as I was before, but it's quite irritating. And that is the videos that I see coming from black women where they're talking about how we're resting, black people are resting. And I have a slight irritation with them saying we, because, the gender war is still going on. It's just people have shifted in terms of the amount of energy that they give to it, but it's still going on. Like, we don't see eye to eye. There is no unified black community. Like that doesn't exist when you want to talk about across gender lines. Like, could you imagine if Kamala Harris, let's just say Kamala Harris won, right? If Kamala Harris won, could you imagine the amount of shit that black women would be talking? Not only would there be the continued push of the gay agenda, but there'd also be black women running around talking about how women are killing it and we're boss bays and, making, Kamala Harris an honorary dark-skinned black woman. She would now become the blackest, darkest woman, in the world that black women would draw inspiration from. Right. And every decision that she made would just be, it would just be perfect. And black women would be out here, with their Dora Milaje. What is it? The Dora Milaje from Black Panther with their Black Panther warrior female outfits defending, Kamala vigorously. Like that's what it would be. It would just be more feminism. This is why we need more feminism. I mean, that's all we would hear. But because black women, since as they voted, 92% for those that voted, because their person didn't win and they wanted Kamala to win the most, now they're running around talking about all this, fuck around and find out shit. And I'm like, I'm looking at them with a side eye because I'm like, but had the way that you voted, had you got what you wanted, right, then these white folks would have never fucked around and found out. So why are you running around saying, oh, fuck around and find out, fuck around and find out? I'm like, they would have never fucked around. You wouldn't have given them the room to fuck around. Black men are really the only ones, that, there's more of us that were on the, let them fuck around. Let them. Black men are the ones that are like the parent, like when little kids say, I'm running away, and they grab their backpack and their bag of Oreos and, they go stand on the front porch for a while and then realize they don't have anywhere to go and then come back in an hour. Yeah. Black men are the parent like, oh, you gonna run away? Oh, let me pack your bags. That's black men. That's black men. Black women were not on some let me help you pack your bags. Black women were like, no. Black women were the ones that were in the cars crying and crashing out. Do y'all really hate us that bad? Do y'all really hate us? No. That was y'all. That was not black men. Black men were indifferent to it. Black men have been resting because we don't have a party. We don't have a party. The freaking the right is filled with white supremacists. We know that. The left is filled with, anti-black male misandrist, LGBTQ, feminism, and not wanting to address not only black men's issues, but address the aspect of tangibles when it comes to the black community. It's amazing. Oh, what's wrong with the black community? You ask anybody what's wrong with the black community. The problem with the black community is these black males. That's what the problem is. 1350 and niggas is going to jail and they getting locked up and they not graduating school and they not going to college. That's what the problem with the black community is. Ain't nothing wrong with the black woman because the black woman is God, right? That's what would be said. And then when you say, hey, okay, if the boys are so fucked up, let's allocate the resources to the boys, right? To fix some of these problems, to address some of these problems that are largely resource based and economic opportunity based, right? Like they took a lot of the vocations out of the high schools. Maybe you want to put those back. Auto mechanic shop and some of the trade directed programs in the schools in the inner cities. Oh no, we can't have no resources go to the black community, in particularly black boys. Oh no, we got to send our money to Ukraine. We got to give our money to Israel. We got to make sure that the Mexicans coming across the border, we got to make sure that they right. We got to make sure that the Syrian refugees are right. We got to make sure the Afghanistani refugees are right. Right, the Afghani refugees, we got to make sure that they right. We gotta put resources in every which direction except for in the direction of the black community, and in particularly in the direction of black males. We'll throw black women a couple crumbs here and there and give them a couple fancy titles and tell them how strong and independent they are as black women. We'll do that. Okay. And then black women running around drunk, thinking that they got, all the infinity stones and shit. Right. Like literally, that's how, that's their belief system. That's how they function. Right. But, all this, oh, we're resting now. We're resting. I'm like, black men been resting. We haven't had a party to address us. We got Obama up there scolding black men. What about the brothers? What about us, nigga? You ain't done shit for us. What about us? And then even with 78% of the black men who voting for Kamala Harris, we still had black women jumping down our throats, bitching and complaining, despite the fact that we were the second highest group that voted for Kamala. I'd argue it was a lot of, older black folks in there, right? But even with that, still not enough. They was talking crazy. They was talking shit. So I'm just indifferent to the shit. I'm indifferent. I'm indifferent to black women. I'm indifferent to, the whole political system. What I mean? I'm just indifferent to it. Bottom line, you need a whole nother party. I talked about that before, but that's only going to happen if white people, because they're the vast majority of the country, they have to go through a lot of pain with this. They got to feel that shit. They got to get pissed off. Because when somebody's not listening to you, when somebody says, oh, freaking, like I had a friend of mine, I used to always tell him, I'm like, yo, you need to get your CCW. You need to get your CCW. And motherfucker was walking somewhere in West Philly, right, going to see his family, came out to the car and he got ran up on by the YNs, took all his shit. And I'm like, motherfucker, I told you. And he saw them coming. He says he saw them coming. You know what I mean? Like they crossed the street and I was like, yeah, and that was your time to draw. But he didn't have anything on him. So, it's like, the young boys, he's like in his 30s, like he ain't going to outrun them, because he's kind of, I don't want to say he's out of shape, but he's in the typical shape that you would expect of a man in his 30s who doesn't go to the gym and work out regularly. You know what I'm saying? And so, he got ran up on. And I'm like, I try to tell you. I said the economy's bad. Shit is all fucked up and you just out here just lacking. But he learned that day. Now he has his CCW. But I look at the situation the same thing as with these white folks. You know what I mean? They got all these stupid ass beliefs in their head. They don't believe that it's classism. They believe is white people versus the others. That's what they fucking believe. And that's not going to go away until they get fucked by their own. As black people, are we going to get fucked in the process? Sure we are. But there's a lot of stuff that, we're like example, like you don't hear black farmers whining and crying and fussing, right? Because they never got the benefits to begin with. They weren't subsidized by the government, by what is it, the USDA or whatever the hell it is. They weren't subsidized. The white farmers were heavily. So the white farmers, you see the white farmers crying, "Oh, I'm losing my farm." You don't really see any videos of black farmers crying because they weren't being supported. You see, nobody gets more social welfare than freaking white folks and white corporations. Remember all those bailouts? Oh, we bailed out the banks. Again, it's always privatized profits and socialized losses. That's what it always is. But white people, they again, this is their fuck around and find out error, because black people tried to fucking tell them. But the thing is black men really were the only ones willing to let that happen. And I have to be careful because I have to recognize, I'm a single childless man. I don't really give a fuck if this bitch burns down. Right? Single childless men of any race are the most dangerous demographic, because they'll go off and live in a shoebox. They'll live under their bridge. They'll be homeless. They don't care. Women, on the other hand, and we know we have a disproportionate amount of mothers, they have children to take care of. So if you start talking about taking away programs that they need, right, which essentially act as the replacement of the man and WIC and all that stuff, you start taking away that. Now they got to look their children in the face that are suffering. And I'm not one for children, to suffer, but I'm not one to support what's been going on, which is not only the ignoring of black men in particular, but also the ignoring of the black community. We're talking about tangibles, real tangibles, not these little crumbs. Oh, we'll give you social welfare, which only helps facilitate busting up the black family, right? With these extra tribal resources. No, we want what's owed to the black community in full, in full. And again, there was the whole aspect of letting the Democrats lose. Like, look, you can't win without us. You will continue to lose until you address these goddamn tangibles. That was the strategy, disproportionately for black men, not for black women. The majority of black women showed us who they wanted to see, in office. They want a continuation of the same shit that has been going on, the same busted up, broken. They want a continuation of that. Where all the Democrats do is just give lip service to the black community, tell black women, you go, girl, have a bunch of panels on MSNBC that got a bunch of black women up there, right? Joy Reid would still be up there. Yes, and like she said the night that Donald Trump lost, I thought white women wanted to change the way that they interacted with the patriarchy. See, that's not a black agenda. That's a feminist agenda. We're not on the same page. It may look like we're on the same page because black men are like indifferent and black women are acting like they're indifferent, running around, fuck around and find out. You know what I mean? But I'm like, that's our phrase. That's really not black women's phase, because you wanted Kamala to win. You wanted Kamala to win. There's no aspect that white people would have been able to find out. The whole point of fuck around and find out is the find out part. You have to let them fuck around in order to find out. Once they find out, and then they have cognitive dissonance, and then they have to friggin', what do you want to call it? Like analyze, their own demons and shit. Like, damn, what was I really on? And have to have their little come to Jesus moment. You can't get them to the come to Jesus moment if you don't let them fuck around. That's a part of it. That's the part. Oh, my bad. Oh, you got all the answers? You got all the answers? Oh, okay, fine. All right. Go out there and do what you do. I don't have no problem. The Democrats, excuse me, the Republicans, they got the House. And this is what I love. I love when black people, like, there's a purpose in stepping back, like intentionally stepping back. Black one, this wasn't your plan. Your plan was not to intentionally step back. You all wanted Kamala to win. No. From the perspective of a lot of black men, our plan was to step back. Nah, give them everything that they want, because they're gonna find out. They're gonna find out how much this is a classist system, and it's not a racial system. It's a classist system first. And then, again, walking through the history: Ludlow Massacre, Latimer Massacre, Homestead Massacre, Memorial Day Massacre, right? All of the mining towns where they paid people in script, Blair Mountain, the Gilded Age, right? All these were class issues. They had nothing to do with niggas. Had nothing to do with niggas. You know what I mean? The 40-hour work week, white men fought for that shit. Child labor laws, white men fought for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Full medical and dental, white men fought for that shit. Pensions, white men fought for that shit. They done forgot. They done completely fucking forgot. So since they forgot, and they think that the reason why they can't afford a house is because black people are breathing up all the white man's air in neighborhoods where black people disproportionately don't even fucking live. I'm like, no. Give them the floor. Give them the floor. Now, does that mean that things like white supremacy and Christian national rear its ugly head? Oh yeah, sure it does. But this is a fight for white men to fight. Let them fire the first shot, instead of black people always being up on the front lines fighting for justice and using our freaking moral currency to try to so we go out there and get all fucked up, and then they just sit there like, oh, thank you, black people. You know what I mean? We ain't trying to be, what's his name, Christopher Addicks or whatever his name was. We ain't, no. The first guy who died during the Boston Tea Party who was a black man. Fuck that. Nah, nigga, you go out there and fire the first shot. You go out there and crack the first shot. You go out there and put your body on the front lines. Got trying to get us to go out there. Nope. Black people will not be your motherfucking scapegoat. Not this time. Nope. You go out there and fight for justice and fight for economic equality or economic parity. You go out there and fight that shit. I love it. I love when you got Republican president, Republican freaking Supreme Court, Republican House, Republican presidency, right? They got everything. They got all branches of government. They got everything. So if white people get fucked up during this process, who you gonna blame? Who you gonna blame? You have the floor. They're bitching right now. Even the Second Amendment people are bitching right now because of this damn rare breed freaking forced trigger reset shit. I don't know what Bondi is doing, and what's his name, Akash or whatever, the ATF director. But apparently they're not doing what the gun community wants them to do, which is basically let them have their forced reset triggers and whatnot. I gotta go and watch Mr. Guns and Gadgets. I gotta finish watching whatever he was saying about it. I'm not paying attention to it. Because to me, machine guns are kind of hokey. I do think that people should be able to have them, but I think they're kind of hokey. I mean, if you just want to waste ammunition and not hit your target, but that's besides the point. It's all on them. It's all on them. If they want to go out there and they're mad enough to go protest or do whatever, yeah, that's on them. All this stuff with the Republicans going to their town hall meetings and getting yelled at, that's not what we voted for. Yeah, see, that's the fuck around and find out moment. But that would have never happened if black women would have got their way. It would have just been the same old, Kamala up there, hey Kamala, what's up with African Americans reparations? I'm not gonna do just something for just black people. No, that's what we would have got. We would have got the same energy. It would have been sanctuary cities all over the place, throwing resources, at Ukraine, throwing resources at, the Hispanics that come across the border. Oh no, we ain't got no money for reparations, but we got enough. We got enough money to put each Latino and their family, up in the Waldorf Astoria, for $5,000 a fucking week. We got enough money for that. You know what I mean? Like, nah. Playing in our faces? No. Fuck that. I'm not going to sit there and say this is every sister, because there were, a number of sisters. Because remember, it's 92%. It wasn't 100%. It was 92% of black women. And they, or excuse me, 92% of the black women who voted. Because there's black women, you see them on, Diaspora News, Phil Scott's channel and whatnot, talking about tangibles as well. What's up with some tangibles? Democrats did not earn black people's vote. That same okey doke with the black boomers of vote blue no matter who. The younger black people are not on that shit. They're like everybody else, they vote for what is in their interest. They vote for resources being allocated to their communities, and black people are just supposed to sit out here and vote for symbolism. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. But I mean, to me, this only reinforces why you can't have black women in leadership positions, because they will lead the black community into the fucking ground. You know what I'm saying? They don't stand on no motherfucking business. They can't go without for nothing. It's like damn, they just no. We have to continue. We have to continue to do what we've been doing that doesn't give us the results that we're looking for. Again, when all this is said and done, when enough white people get fucked up because Trump's in office, which they will, because Trump is, he is playing oligarchy 101. And I'm like, I knew he was going to overplay his hand. I knew it because you got these poor, podunk, evangelical white folk. Like, peak head sex is like, is really just symbolism. You know what I'm saying? When you really look at it, because do I think, is it dangerous that he removed the Jags? Abso-fucking-lutely. That's absolutely dangerous. It's like, what you about to do? Okay. But, I'm going to be real. I think that there's too much of a deep state to allow Trump to just do whatever. They're not going to let him gut the democracy. There's people right now that are having discussions in bunkers. There's people right now that are they're monitoring the fuck out of him. Go look at the history of the deep state. They monitor the fuck out of people. They try to dig up dirt. Again, these are the type of people, they're not going to get you on racketeering, like Al Capone. Nah, they're going to get you on tax evasion. They're going to get you on some behind the scenes type of shit. I see what's her face up there. Who's the black woman in the DA or whatever she is in New York. She's filing more lawsuits. I'm like, hey, here we go with putting a black woman's face on it again. I'm like, let them cook, because they're going to overplay their hand and they're going to piss off more and more white people. Like, even with this shit that Trump is trying to do with the Department of Education, what's hilarious about that, first off, there's a lot of white people, right? Because white people disproportionately send their kids to college. So that's going, all those white people that are like, I'm good, I'm in the upper middle class and whatnot. Well, I guess what's going to happen when your daughter, who's a barista, who has a college degree and can't pay her student loans back, what are you going to do? You're going to let her credit just go to shit? Right? Not to mention what's so funny about this, right, is when it comes to the college loans, right? Guess who the promissory note is made to? The promissory note was made to the Department of Education. So if Donald Trump goes in there and gets rid of the Department of Education, well, Who do we owe the money to? Right? The banks will say you owe the money to us. But see, again, these are federal loans. These are federal. The whole reason the bank's willing to give all that money to a 19-year-old to go to college, right, and pay $20,000 a semester is because it's backed by the federal government. It's already been promised by the federal government. You see, and we make that promise to, again, the federal government, the Department of Education. Well, what happens if you get rid of the Department of Education? Right? Right? Again, same logic as, well, all the things that I want to do in the Gulf of Mexico, well, I'll just change the name to the Gulf of America, and therefore all of those, whatever the laws are that prevent me from drilling or whatever the hell it is in the Gulf of Mexico, all of those laws become null and void because it's no longer the Gulf of Mexico, because on those documents it says the Gulf of Mexico. Well, I changed it to the Gulf of America, so now all of those previous contracts are null and void. You see how that works? You see? So again, I'm like, no. Let him cook. Let him cook. Let him cook. Let him piss off the white people, and let the white people go out there and do all the fighting. Okay? Let the white people get on their 1776 bullshit. You see? Cause black people, we're resting now. I'm only making this video to point out the fact that black men and black women, even though it both looks like we're both resting, we don't see eye to eye. We don't see eye to eye. If black women got what they want, they would still be out here screaming, feminism and, boss bay energy, and Kamala would just go to their head. She would suddenly be the blackest woman in America. Every black woman would be out here screaming they got to divest and get them a white Jewish zaddy like Kamala. It would just be retardedness all over the place. But that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to comment on that because, I keep seeing this black people are resting. I'm like, no, we're resting for different reasons than y'all resting, because y'all had no plan. Your plan was to continue, and that's going to be your reputation from here on out. Your plan was to continue the status quo. That was the vast majority of black women's plan, to continue the status quo, to not throw a monkey wrench in the system. That was their plan. Anyway, that's all I got for y'all. That's my video. SWP out. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe.
Move. Hold on. Yeah. Hello? Where we at? Oh, you want to know where I'm at? We outside!